What's up, everybody? Malakatala here, and welcome to my next episode in my Charles Manson series. Today, I went to school today, and my teacher knows I like Manson, right? Because I be drawing pictures of Manson in class. And she told me that, I did not know this, that Linda Kasabian has passed away on January 31st of 2023. And I was shocked. I was flabbergasted. I knew I had to make a video on Linda Kasabian because she was a key figure in getting Manson and his family convicted, because she was actually there with the family members that went up to the Tate mansion and murdered all of those people that fateful night in August of 1969. She came to the family through Catherine Scher, also known as Gypsy. She was having trouble with her husband, and she said that their marriage was not working, that she wasn't a priority. Linda wasn't a priority to her husband, so she left with Gypsy and went into the Manson family, and she took her daughter with her. When she arrived, they took her daughter, and she was perfectly comfortable with leaving her daughter in their care. There was other children at the ranch, and she met everybody there. They were all happy to see her. They gave her hugs, and there was a lot of excitement around meeting Charlie for the first time. The Kasabian first met Charles Manson. There was a lot of excitement surrounding him. Everybody hyped him up as their king and as the most wonderful man that was around. And she actually went back to her husband's residence and stole $5,000 in cash to give to the family. She would be looked upon as, she did this for us. And it wasn't like stealing cigarettes out of your mom's purse or getting $5. This was a lot of money. And later, her husband went back to the ranch and wanted to confront Linda, and they confronted the people at the ranch. That Charles Manson dealt with Linda's husband, and they got scared of him. Supposedly, he threatened him, and the guy that he was with. They hopped back in their truck and they sped off of Spahn's ranch. And Linda Kasabian was very taken by that. She felt protected by Manson. Next thing that happened was she met Tex Watson. He was gruffy, and he had dark, deep, steel blue eyes. And Tex Watson had Linda Kasabian the first night. It was a paradise for all the hippies that congregated with Manson. It was an adolescent's paradise. You had no responsibilities. They took acid, smoked weed, and listened to Charlie sing his songs at night. Linda Kasabian would never know that the family that she just was brought to would be her undoing and her downfall, and would stamp her name with the family, because she was there at the Tate mansion when Susan Atkins, Tex Watson, and Patricia Krenwinkel went and up there on August the 9th. Linda Kasabian thought they were just going to go on a creepy crawly mission. She had no idea what was to take place. Later, she would be granted immunity from prosecution for testifying against Manson and his co-defendants. She was looked at as, the snitch of the family, and she testified. There was also other people like Barbara Hoyt and Diane Lake who testified against Manson. So some of the family members, some of them flipped and knew that what the family was doing was wrong. Linda Kasabian was there at the Tate murders, but then she was told by Manson to get a knife, and she was picked to go along at the Tate murder only because she was the only family member that had a valid California driver's license, and she was the driver. She also was there at the LaBianca murders along with all of the family members that went along with her. She did not go into the LaBianca home, she, Manson, Susan Atkins, and Clem sped off after they dropped off Pat Krenwinkel, Leslie Van Houten, and Tex Watson at the LaBianca residence. They later went into Malibu. Manson questioned Linda Kasabian about a friend she had met on the beach that month ago, or 2-3 weeks ago. She said that he was an actor and she had made friends with him, and she later slept with him at his apartment. Charles Manson went to the apartments that they thought that the actor lived in, gave Linda a knife, instructed her to go knock on the door, and when the man opened the door, to just slit his throat. Linda Kasabian looked at Charlie and said, "Charlie, I am not you. I cannot kill anybody." And Charlie laughed and said, "Sure you could." And he dispatched her, Susan Atkins, and Clem to go and commit this 8th murder. She later flaunted and disrupted the murder by knocking on the wrong door, and she thwarted the plan that was in progress to murder another person. They later went back to the ranch, but Linda Kasabian was active with the family those 2 nights, and what she witnessed will go down in history. Linda Kasabian would get off of murder. She was just as culpable as the rest of the family members that went. She was the getaway driver. After they murdered Sharon Tate and her friends, she was the getaway driver and the lookout on the scene. In a later video, I will be discussing the Tate and LaBianca murders in great detail and share exactly what happened those 2 terrible nights in August that happened down in LA. And I have to say that after she got granted immunity, she went into hiding. She actually fled the family after the murders. She couldn't take her daughter with her, but she fled to New Mexico, got help from her husband, and later would testify against the family. She granted an interview with The Current Affair, and discussed how she saw Patricia Krenwinkel stab Abigail Folger 28 times, and Tex Watson she saw Tex Watson stab to death Wojtek Frykowski. She actually looked at Frykowski in the eyes and said, "Oh God, please make this stop. I don't believe this." She realized that Charles Manson was definitely the devil. He was not this wonderful man that she was led to believe. She would grant an interview with The Current Affair after 25 years of silence, and then she would go later on Larry King Live with Vincent Bugliosi and discuss what she witnessed that fateful night. She was a key member in the murders. She was just as culpable as the rest. But rest in peace, Linda Kasabian. I just found out that she died last month, and I just want to say, I think she had four children, and she went into rehab, and she struggled with drugs and alcohol for a long time, dealing with her guilt. She said later that when Charles Manson asked everybody if they had any guilt, they had none, and she was the one that picked up the guilt of the victims, and she felt bad when nobody else in the family did. Thank you all for watching. More videos are coming very soon, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Like, subscribe, and get me up, bro.